So this is just going to be a quick video on a question that I got the other day. It was, can you make a tutorial on how to mix using headphones? And I said, sure. And this is not going to be so much a tutorial as it's just going to be kind of an informative video on what actually makes a great mix and how you make a great mix. First off, I want to start with the fact that you shouldn't be obsessing about what you're mixing on. You can basically mix on anything. You can mix using your really cheap speakers, your dad's old hi-fi stereo setup, or your even your laptop speakers. You can still mix on those, and it's not like it's 100% guaranteed that the mix is going to sound like crap. But of course, poor speakers will make it harder to do the job, but not as much as you might think. I have been using both studio monitors, and I've been using cheap speakers, and I have been using a few different headphones. And nowadays I mostly just mix on my headphones because they are the highest quality speakers that I have at the moment. As I said, I used to have some studio monitors. I sold them off a few years ago when I moved away to study, and I could really bring them with me. And in the years leading up to today, I haven't had any room for those kind of monitors anyways, and haven't been living in an apartment where I can make a lot of noise. So I've been using my Beyerdynamic DT770 Pro. I bought these in 2011 maybe, and they're super awesome. They're not the most expensive headphones you can get, but they're more than good enough. And the most important thing really when mixing using headphones is not the quality of the headphones or any special tricks or techniques. It's just you have to be aware of one thing, and that is that low end sounds infinitely better. That's just my dog, if you can hear. The low end sounds infinitely better in headphones. You don't get any problems with acoustics, standing waves in the room, speaker elements making strange noises when they're driving a lot of low end. So a pitfall that you can fall into is basically mixing too much low end into your sound. And basically the way you get around this is that you have to reference your mixes. You always have to reference your mixes, no matter how expensive your monitors are. Even if you're mixing on super expensive monitors in a super acoustically treated room and everything costs $1 million, you still have to check your mix in the car and check your mix on headphones, on cheap headphones, on laptop speakers, on anything, in order to make sure that your mix translates well to the real world. And that's where it comes in, that you don't really need all this fancy equipment, because nobody's going to listen to your songs on super high-end studio monitors anyways. So if you can make something that sounds good on cheap headphones or cheap speakers, then nobody cares. It's not like there's some super secret trick to expensive speakers, even though they're flat response, that makes your mix sound a lot better. So just make sure that you keep your low end tamed, because you might be tempted to increase the low end a lot when you're mixing on headphones, because it doesn't degrade the sound. You can get this awesome cool low end without any problems, but when you go to play that music on normal speakers or in the car, you're gonna hear that the low end is completely out of control. And the last thing that you need to do when you're going to mix using headphones or using anything else is that you need to listen to the music on what you are mixing on. So what I do is I listen to a lot of music on these headphones, and that makes me learn how these sound. And if I can make a mix that sounds the same in these headphones as the mixes that I'm listening to on Spotify or anything else, high quality studio mixes, if I can make something sound almost the same, then it's good enough. And over my years of mixing, producing music, I've never gotten a comment saying that you need to upgrade your studio monitors or whatever, because it's clear that something is wrong in your mix. I've never gotten that comment. So it's not such a big of a deal, really. You just have to mix on whatever you have, and just remember that it's your mixing skills and not your mixing equipment that makes everything sound good when it comes to the mixing. And one more thing before I forget it. Some people use this argument that when you're listening on speakers, you get the sound from two sources, and it's mixing in your head in some way, and it's hitting your ears slightly different and all that stuff. And on headphones you don't get that, because the sound doesn't get from this side to the other side, and that's why mixing on headphones is stupid. That argument is stupid. I've never even thought about that when I'm mixing, and it all goes back to people who just want to blame their equipment for their mixes not sounding good. I'm happy with the way my mixes sound, and of course having good speakers is fun and all that, but I can make good enough mixes with my headphones, so who cares? So anyways, that was just some quick tips on how to make good quality mixes on headphones or any other inexpensive equipment. And as always, this video is brought to you by guitartricks.com, and you can get 2 weeks free subscription if you use the link in my description below. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.